Hey buddies, welcome to AmassGames. My name is Simon. This is episode 18 of the AmassGames podcast. Welcome to those now listening over on Podbean, on Amazon, on various other platforms including Samsung, iHeart, Podcast, etc. So this episode firstly is about everything I've been playing since since May. So I've just had a message from a designer just pop up, and that is a game that I actually will be talking about briefly on the channel later. But Darkentale is now crowdfunding. This is a new D&D 5e campaign with loads of maps that you can get, some fantastic high quality play mats, etc. You can play with, of course, with this game. Now this particular game's book, written by Alexander Urbanek, published by Riot Minds, I have talked about previously over on YouTube. In fact, other books by Alexander I've also got on YouTube, including stuff from Dice and Mystics. So please head over to YouTube or type in Darkentale, that's 10 letters long, Darkentale, to discover more. So of course that is a role-playing game. The rest of the stuff we'll be talking to you about will be tabletop. So going back to the 2nd of May, that was when I last talked to you about some games I was playing. And I also need to tell you a little bit more about such stuff such as 3,500 posts now over on Instagram. And I think TikTok is doing quite well as well. It's kind of gaining traction. So I played Sherlock 13. I haven't actually released the how to set up play and review video yet, but I have talked about it before. So that's been played as a 3. So I've been playing it before as a 2 as well. Haven't yet to play as a 4, hence the release of that game going out live at time of recording. Tolerance, I also played as a 3 with Rob and Michelle, who I also played Sherlock 13 with. So this is an asymmetrical card game, trick-taking game as well, which Rob in particular really liked. He's very into trick-taking games compared to Michelle. And I'm very much into trick-taking too, talking to you more about some of the trick-takers in this episode. This one is highly asymmetric, whereby you're trying to kill off various people in the Middle Ages, and sometimes depending on the allegiance into each of the 3 rounds, they could be Catholic or Protestant. So it's very fascinating to see how the wild, let's say, not just a wild, but you also have an extra kind of wild, which is like a variable trump suit as to whether they are representing the Catholic faith or the Protestant faith. Some symbology is a bit tricky to get your head around, but once you're there, hopefully that does make sense. Mojo is an interesting game. It's a card game, which I haven't fully really gone well with. I have managed to win that though, whereby you're trying to get rid of cards playing down from 12 through to 0 with varying numbers of each of those values. However, when you play a card lower than another card, that's good. But if you play high, you need to draw an extra card, which isn't necessarily as good, but then you have more that you can shed potentially because you can play the same value on top of another one. Also Sagrada, so obviously this is a dice game. You can check out my video on how to play that on the channel, whereby you're trying to pattern match and place out various things. I want to bring some more stuff to the channel about expansions and also promos to you as well. Onto Dungeons and Dragons. So this is actually the Yawning Portal, which is different to, I guess, the role-playing stuff, whereby you're moving stuff around in different orders. Again, check out, just Google AmassGames Yawning, and you'll find it. Yes, some people do fall asleep to my videos, including myself, maybe to the podcast too. So the Ming Voyages is another asymmetrical game, a 2-player quick war game, whereby you're looking to get some area control in, take over the middle ground, the borderlands, if you happen to be the barbarians, the Mongols, or if you happen to be the Mings, you're trying to take your boats out and voyage out to sea. So check out the videos for that too. Also pictures on Instagram, along with the other stuff I've already mentioned. Leonardo da Vinci's Codex Leicester, I keep on calling Lorenzo El Magnifico, because Lorenzo El Magnifico is designed pretty much by the same people. Razor won on his first game, an interesting game whereby it's a Euro game, nice combinations of various things kicking in, which I'll come back to later in other games. But it's quite a bland art. I don't actually dislike it, but some people might not find it very appealing. But if you don't mind things like Hansa Teutonica, you're in with a good time. Next Station Paris, I happened to win against Finchy on this one, so this is another flip and write game by Matthew Dunstan. Not a huge fan compared to his other games, but it's kind of growing me a bit. I'm starting to get better at those Next Station games, which doesn't mean it's a good game, but at least I'm grasping it more so I can give a good interpretation of what I think it might be good and who it might be for. Roll Camera, the B-movie expansion, so that's live now as well, so I've been playing out this cooperatively. And this is a cooperative game, but you can play it solo, which will still be cooperative anyway, whereby you're trying to complete various parts of a film and trying to do well in terms of various things that might be needed, such as assuming that they might want some horror genre. I mean, you need to make sure the quality is so good or so bad it's good to ensure that you also get a victory. Also make sure you don't run out of schedule and budget. Nacho Pile, so this is I guess it's a set collection game with push your luck as well, which in this instance does work. And yes, a nice kind of pieces going on here, so check out my video for that. Three Bros, a set collection game in some description with a bit of push your luck, but a fun element of it. It's not really push your luck, but it's funny to see what gets revealed. That's the fun part of it. And again, that is another game whereby it has been taken from the public domain because it used to be called Golf in the public domain. 221B Baker Street, so you can check out my videos for Golf 2. 221B Baker Street, though, the Master Detective. Still playing through this up to game 7 presently. Didn't manage to play at the 8th one on the weekend. I happened to jointly kind of win this one with James, I think, in terms of we both kind of got the same kind of answer at the same time. Actually, that might have been game 7. Roll Camera, the B-Movie expansion, again, mentioned we played some more of that. Also, the Lord of the Rings adventure book, so we're playing through that. So we played through the first mission now twice because I wasn't aware that it was a permanent in terms of over 8 games. I thought it was permanent just for one game, but yeah, throughout the entire 8 games, you will be losing, there'll be ring corruption, up to 14 you automatically lose. We happened to gain 4 in the first game when we replayed it, which we did win at. We did it with 5, and in game 2 we didn't manage to take any, so we've still kept 5 rings, and let's hopefully, not sure how bad that's going to get over game 3, which hopefully is this weekend. Then more on camera, then Vault. This is a roll and write kind of game, which I'm getting more of a grip on. I managed to play the expansion called Den of Thieves, which may even be my first victory of that game, but it wasn't bad, but it isn't really my kind of thing. Tang Hu Lu is another game involving dice, whereby you are looking to complete various candy sticks, fruit sticks. Bit of a bizarre one, this one. I like the idea of the coinage, and you can get coins when you complete fruit or certain amounts of fruit. It allows you to buy more potentially on your turn, because each fruit you buy is going to cost you 1, then 2, then 3, then 4 coins. And obviously that is going to be great, but it's going to cost you money, so you need to make sure you get up to 10 money too. There's also some dice distancing going on, so for Roll Camera, check out that too. Also for Ming Voyages and some other games I'll be mentioning. And what else is there? We played Ginkopolis. So Ginkopolis is an old game. I didn't think too much of it at the time, but I know people rated it because, for a start, it went out of print, so people wanted to play that. This is a game whereby it's a clever design. It's an old style Euro in some respects. You're trying to get area majority in various different areas of the board with a minimum of 2, and crucially, you do want other people's pieces on your zone, and you typically want to go higher because that's more of a majority tiebreaker. But if you don't have any other pieces of the opponent, then you're really only scoring your own pieces, and you really, a bit like King Domino, Carcassonne, I guess, you actually need to ensure that you are benefiting for other people's pieces being on your thing. So there's a big comparison to Carcassonne there. So coming back to solo and trick taking, solo trick taking, very clever game this for Northwood, but very hard. I don't know how people manage. I thought I was good at trick taking games, and yet this is difficult to comprehend how to even get good enough to get onto the kind of the advanced booklet. Animals of Baker Street, though, been playing this as a cooperative game. It's a 1 to 4 player game, but definitely we think it's best as a 2, because solo, I think you do need somebody else to bounce ideas off, and 3, I think you might be left wanting. Bits like some of the exit games in some respects as well. But I'm enjoying this, got 2 more missions to go. It keeps changing up each game. It's amazing what you can get out of the box. A lot of text to read. It can take some time to play. It does say, I don't know, it says up to 45 minutes, but yeah, it can be like an hour and a half for the sort of the middling game so far, and I think it's going to take even longer for the rest. Another solo game though, Legacy of You, playing this cooperative with James, and very much enjoying it. It's a little bit to get used to, but there is a kind of flow, but again, getting back into it can take some effort, which is very interesting. It does make a lot of sense, but it's very self-balancing very quickly. So if you happen to win at something, and that isn't even per game, just in a little part of the game, you'll then literally have to then complete something else. So it's clever. You almost feel like you probably don't want to be completing the story cards, I feel, but that's another matter. Another game which is popular in the solo verse would be New York Zoo. I played this as a 2. Didn't think too much of it actually, unfortunately, whereby you're getting polyomino pieces, trying to complete your puzzle. First to complete it wins. But if you happen to breed and get animals out on certain parts of the puzzle pieces, and they complete them, you get a bonus piece subject to what's been available, which helps you to complete the puzzle, but it does drag it down quite a bit as to what you're trying to do. Good concept though. I just prefer his other games, 38 Plus, as a playlist on YouTube. Sawari, this is also known as Sands. This is a game very like the game Thebes, which I do have, which I've yet to actually record or even open in the last 6 years. And it was Tom Vasel who I've played the original one and loved it. I wanted to get one for Julia. I went for the smaller edition, which doesn't have the time travel. Well, it has time travel in it, but it doesn't necessarily have movement around the board, which was fun. But it was, a fair price, so I think I went for it. And yeah, you're looking to reveal tokens, but if you might not want it, you can put it back, which you can't do in Thebes. But it's also in the same universe of being, same setting, being Egypt and the pyramids, and camels and stuff. But yes, you're looking to also bring down cards, but like in After Us, and trying to join them up, and also games like Tainted Grail. It's fine, but kind of a 6 out of 10 game. The Binding of Isaac: Four Souls, this can be a solo, co-op, or competitive game. It's mostly known as a competitive game where it's a bit like Munchkin. But cooperatively, it was really nice. It was quick to play, quick to win at, and the cards are fine, nice components, and I think so far I've only just been enjoying a co-op, and I don't have really much of an interest to play other player accounts. So apart from that, we've also mentioned some other games I've already mentioned, some more games of Northwood, lots of that, Legacy of You and Lord of the Rings. Boulder Dash, so as of this Monday the 13th, I've been playing this with Julia, so we're playing the 2-player variant. Not great, the variant, but it's workable. And I've gone through over half of the cards now. That's over 1,200 cards. Video coming to YouTube for this one. 6 out of 10 so far, whereby you are looking to kind of pretty much bluff. These are archaic and ancient, sometimes foreign terms. Very interesting, such as the name of the hole where an anchor comes through in a ship. All kinds of stuff like this. What's the official name for a half a pint and stuff like this? It's really interesting. And what's the name of this skin where it peels when you get sunburn? So really interesting stuff, but pretty much forgettable. So speaking about that guy who messaged me earlier, that was Clash of Galliforms. The video, so they have got a new game called Scarce that's coming to Kickstarter July 15th. And I wanted to play the designer's other game, which was Clash of Galliforms, which has just come out. Well, it came out, it does say 2024, but kind of came out 2022 and 2023 on the box. This is a Age of Empires game involving pretty much aggressive turkeys, based on what they've experienced over in Sweden. Boreal, I played yesterday. So Boreal, I played with Jamie, and this is a game, a Bruno Cathala game, I think, whereby, if not at that, it's his other game, Solstice, which I'll talk about in a second, whereby you are looking to make a pyramid, and this pyramid is pretty much set collection again, classic French kind of style game, whereby you are looking to spend your money or spend your compasses. If you get a tile, it might give you a bonus of an extra currency next round. It's pretty underwhelming. 6 out of 10. It's below average for me. It's fine. I'm not likely to play it again. More games of Boulder Dash, more games of Super Mega Lucky Box. So I do have the app for this, but I haven't got around to playing it because I didn't quite get it in the app. But it's pretty, people say it's like bingo. I don't think it's like bingo. It's a flip and right game. Yes, it's a 3x3 grid with numbers on it, and you're crossing off a number. But what you're then doing is deciding whether or not, which number to cross off if you've got more than one choice. Because if you complete a row or a column, you're then able to then get another bonus, which could be another number or something like this, or a modifier to that value. High score wins. If you happen to cross off stars, that can help you early into the rounds. I happened to beat someone who's played it 16 times, and I got a score of 48 to 47. But again, it's good, but it's not very good. I'm unlikely to play anymore, apart from, I think I might play it solo. Yes, you do get moon bonuses, so if you get the most, you get 6 point swing over someone who doesn't have the most. But I think solo is how I might play it. I think I might play it then occasionally. So Solstice, this is the other French game I played with Jamie. This is a game whereby you have a kind of a pyramid again. It does remind me of some other games, but Seven Wonders Duel, so Bruno Cathala, yes, was partially behind this one, a collaboration with somebody else. And you're looking to get your biggest grid of cards, which you're trying to get a card out and choose which to place to try and match them up. If you reveal any of these like sun kind of token, these fire tokens, and it reaches the ground, then you get a bonus point as well, or you get a point for that too. Yeah, he found it weirder than I did, but yeah, we didn't get on with it much. So yeah, more games of Clash of Galliforms, so with Rob, and yeah, that's pretty much been it. There's been some other more stuff from the podcast too, so yeah, I've just had a message actually through from Podbean, funny enough, and yeah, we'll see what's going on. But classic kind of 15-minute episode going on again here for now. Any questions, as always, YouTube is typically best to get a response. But yeah, look forward to speaking to you soon. More games on their way, and I've received a new game from Steve Finn. So Dr. Steve Finn, check out my other videos on the channel. I know Herbaceous and Herbaceous Sprouts, I think he's partially behind that, For the King and Me, etc. So check out those on the video channel on YouTube. Also My Little Flower Shop. I've got My Little Flower Shop duet. So that's it for now. Back to the table. Enjoy the games. Back to the table again.